ॐ श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम गोपिका जीवनस्मरणं गोविन्द गोविन्द सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। शुक्लां भरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। नमो नमः सद्गुरुभ्यः सद्गुरुभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो नमः सद्गुरुभ्यः सद्गुरुभ्यो नमो नमः। सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रय विनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नुमः। यं प्रव्रजन्तमनुपेतमपेतकृत्यं द्वैपायनो विरह कातर आजुहाव पुत्रेति तन्मयतया तरवोऽभिनेदुः तं सर्वभूतहृदयं मुनिमानतोऽस्मि। यस्वानुभावमखिलश्रुतिसारमेकम् अध्यात्मदीपमतितितीर्षतां तमोन्धं संसारिणां करुणयाः पुराणगुह्यं तं व्याससूनुमुपयामि गुरुं मुनीनां। योगीन्द्राय नमस्तस्मै शुकाय ब्रह्मरूपिणे संसारसर्पदष्टं यो विष्णुरातममुमुचते कालव्यालमुखग्रास त्रासनिर्नाशहेतवे श्रीमद्भागवतं शास्त्रं कलौकीरेण भाषितम् एतस्मादपरं किञ्चित् मनःशुद्ध्येन विद्यते जन्मान्तरे भवेत् पुण्यं तदा भागवतं लभेत्। ज्ञानवैराग्यसम्पूर्णान् हरिभक्तिपरायणान् पूर्वाचार्यात् अहं वन्दे सम्प्रदायप्रवर्तकान् भगवन्नाम साम्राज्य लक्ष्मी सर्वस्वविग्रहं श्रीमद्बोधेन्द्रयोगीन्द्र देशिकेन्द्रम् उपास्महे। कलिकालोचितं धर्मं नाम संकीर्तनात्मकं निर्णेतुमवतीर्णं तं प्रीह्मिकं सद्गुरुं भजे। हरे रामेति कृष्णेति नाम संकीर्तनं सदा लोकक्षेमाय कुर्वन्तं प्रेमिकं सद्गुरुं भजे। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्तेष्वभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदाय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि धर्मः प्रोज्झितकैतवोऽत्र परमो निर्मत्सराणां सतां वेद्यं वास्तवमत्र वस्तु शिवदं तापत्रयोन्मूलनं श्रीमद्भागवते महामुनिकृते किं वा परैरीश्वरः सद्यो हृद्यवरुध्यतेऽत्र कृतिभिः शुश्रूषिभिस्तत्क्षणात् निगमकल्पतरोर्गलितं फलं शुकमुखात् अमृतद्रवसंयुतं पिबत भागवतं रसमालयं मुहुरहो रसिका भुवि भावुकाः नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। श्रीमद्भागवताख्योऽयं प्रत्यक्षः कृष्ण एव हि स्वीकृतोऽसि मया नाथ मुक्त्यर्थं भवसागरे मनोरथो मदीयोऽयं सफलः सर्वथा त्वया निर्विघ्नेनैव कर्तव्यो दासोऽहं तव केशव। श्रीहरये नमः श्रीहरये नमः श्रीहरये नमः। गोपिका जीवनस्मरणं गोविन्द गोविन्द सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। Welcome everyone. Okay, so we'll just do a review of 22 and the first 14 stanzas of 23. Jayashree, can you do like 20, and then Revati, you can do the remaining 22 stanzas. So I think Jayashree from 3.2 to 11.
Okay. Shri Hare Namaha Tatpradichat Vijakrye Mam Shraddhayo Bhagradam Maya Sarvatmanu Rubam Te Grihamedishu Karmasu Utyadasya Hi Kamasya Pradivado Na Shashyade Abhinirmukta Sangasya Kamaraktasya Kim Punaha Ya Utyadam Anadrutya Kinasham Abhiyachade Shiyate Tatya Shashspidam Manaschavagnyahadaha
Vagnaya Manaschavagnyaya Hataha
Manastavagnyahadaha Aham Dhruvanam Aham Aham द्वाशृणुवन् शृणवं विद्वन् विवाहार्थं समुद्यतम् अधस्त्वम् उपकुर्वाणः प्रद्दां प्रतिगृहाण मे ऋषि उवाच पादम् उत्वोढुकामोऽहम् अप्रदाच तवात्मजा आवयोरनुरूपोऽसौ आद्यो वैवाहिको विधिः कामस्य पूयान्नरदेवदेस्याः पुत्र्या समां नायविदौ प्रदीतः क एव दे तनया नात्रियेण स्वयैव कान्त्या क्षिपदीम् इव श्रियम् यं हन्यभृष्टे क्वनदङ्घ्रिशोभां विक्रीडतीं कन्दुकविह्वलाक्षीं विश्वावसूर्ण्यवदस्वाद्विमानात् विलोक्य सम्मोहविमूढचेताः तां प्रार्थयन्तीं ललां कृत
lamam
sorry तां प्रार्थयन्तीं ललामम् असेविद श्रीचरणै दृष्टां वत्सां मनोरुच्चदबत स्वसारां गुणानुमन्येद बुधोऽपि यादाम् अदो भजिष्ये समयेन साध्वीं यावत् तेजो विब्रूयात् आत्मनो मे अदो धर्मान् पारमहंस्य मुख्यान् शुक्लप्रोक्तान् मन्ये विहिंस्रान् यदो भवत् विश्वमिदं विचित्रं संस्थास्यदे यत्र च वावदिष्टे प्रजापदीनां पदिरेशमह्यं परं प्रमाणं भगवान् अनन्तः.
The first line, last word, vavatishthate.
वावदिष्टदे दिष्टिன்னு சொல்லிட்டேன். मैत्रेय उवाच स उक्रधन्वन् न्ययते
नियदेवा
स उक्रधन्वन् नियते वा पभाषे आसीच दूष्णीम् अरविन्दनाभं धियो बगृह्णन् स्मितशोभितेन मुखेन चेतो लुलुपे देवहूत्याः सोनु ज्ञात्वा व्यवसितं महिष्या दुविदुस्फुटं तस्मै गुणगणाढ्याय तदौदुल्यां प्रहर्षितः शतरूपा महाराज्ञी पारिबर्हान् महाधनान् दम्पत्योः पर्यदात् प्रीत्या भूषावाशः परिच्छदान् व्रतां दुहितरं सम्राट् सदृक्षाय कदव्यदः उपगुह्य च बाहुभ्याम् औत्कण्ठ्योन्मदिदाशयः अशक्नुवंस्तद्विरहं मुञ्चन् बाष्पकलां मुहुः आसिञ्च तम्बवत्सेदि नेत्रोदै दुहिदुशिकाः आमन्त्र्यतं मुनिवरम् अनुज्ञादस् सहानुगः प्रदस्ते रथमारुह्य सभार्यः स्वपुरं नृपः उभयोरुषिकुल्यायाः सरस्वत्याः सुरोदसोः ऋषीणाम् उपशान्तानां पश्यन्नाश्रमसम्पदः तमायान्तम् अभिप्रेत्य ब्रह्मावर्तात् प्रजापतिं गीतसंस्तुतिवात्रैः pratyudiyuf. Correct?
Ah.
Pratyudiyuf.
Diyuf.
Pratyudiyuf praharshitaha barhishmadi namapuri sarvasam samanvida nyapatan yatra romani yajnasyangam vidunvadah kushakashasta kushak kushakashasta evasan shashvat varchasah rishayo yaif parabhavya yajñan yajñamijire
Ijire.
yajñamijire.
Yeah, you can stop there. Ah, correct. Yajñagnan, yajñagnan, yajñamijire.
Yajñan yajñamijire.
Yeah, you can stop there. Revati, go ahead. No, not. I think it's still on.
Okay.
Now
Okay.
you're.
Now
Yeah.
it's okay.
Yeah.
Kushakasamayam parhitahiras astirya bhagavan manuhu ayajat yajna purusham laptastanam yato bhuvam.
The first line, the barhihi.
Oh,
Kashamayam barhihi astirya.
parhihi smati. Okay.
Barhihi.
Yapatan yatra romani yajnasyankam vitunvata. Oh,
No,
adilla.
no.
Kushakasamayam barhihi astirya bhagavan manuhu ayajat yajna purusham labda sthanam yato bhuvam.
Purusham, yajna purusham, comma.
Okay. Barhishmatim nama vipuryam nirvisya samavasat tasyam pravishto bhavanam tapatraya vinasam.
Revati, and the first is
Vinashanam.
vibuhu. Nama
Enga.
vibuhu.
Okay.
Barhishmatim nama vibuhu.
Barhishmatim nama vibuhu.
Yam
Okay.
nirvishya.
Okay. Barhishmatim nama vibuhu yam nirvishya samavasat tasyam pravishto bhavanam tapatraya vinashanam sparya saprajah kaman bubujen ya virodatah sangyamana satkirtihi sastribis surakaya kaihi pratyushevanubattena hrita shrinvan hare gataha Nishnatam yogamayashu munim swayambhuvam manum yatha param shaitum bohan nasekut bhavat param ayat.
Yata bhramshayitum bhogaha. And we have to add that visarga, na shekur bhagavat param.
Yatha pramasyatum bohan.
Bhogaha.
Bohan ha. Kava. Bohan ha.
No. You are adding the na. The na comes in the next sentence. Bhogaha. Na shekur.
Bogaha. Okay. Nasekur bhavat param. Ayadayamas tasyasan yama swantarayapanaha shrinvato dhyayato vishnoho kurvato brvatah kataha sa evam swantaram ninye yuganam eka saptitam vasudeva prasange na puri puta
Prasangena.
Vasudeva prasangena paribhutaha ditrayaha. Is it right?
Paribhuta gatitrayaha.
Prasangena paribhuta gatitrayaha sarira manasa divyaha vayase yecha manushaha baudigascha katam kleshaha padante hari samshrayam yaf prishto munibihi brahadav
Muni bifpraha.
Yaf prishto muni bifpraha dharman nanavidanjuvan nridam varna shramanam cha sarvabhuta hitas sata एदत्त आदिराजस्य मनोश्रितमद्भुतं वर्णितं वर्णनीयस्य ततः पद्योतयं शृणु इति श्रीमद्भागवते महापुराणे पारमहंस्यां संहितायां तृतीयस्कन्धे द्वाविंशोऽध्यायः। अथ त्रयोविंशोऽध्यायः। मैत्रेय उवाच विद्रुभ्यां प्रस्थिते साध्वी पतिमिङ्गितगोविता नित्यं पर्यशरत्प्रीत्या भवानीव भवं प्रभुं विश्रम्भेणात्मशौसेन गौरवेण तमेन च शुश्रूषया सौहृतेन वाचा मधुरया च भोः विसृज्य कामं तम्भं च त्वेषं लोकमकं मदम् अप्रमत्तोत्या नित्यं तेजीयां समदोषयत् स वै
Second,
देवर्षिवर्यस्ताम्
the second line, first word. Apramatodhyata.
नित्यम्
Apramatyodhyata. Double it and
अप्रमत्तोत्यता नित्यं
yeah.
तेजीयां समदोषयत् स वै देवर्षिवर्यस्तां मानवीं समनुव्रतां दैवात् करीयसस्पद्युः आसानां महाशिषः कालेन
Ashasan and the Ashasanam.
महाशिषः
And then the Ashasanam, I think you forgot the Sha there. Ashasana.
आशाशानां महाशिषः कालेन भूयसा क्षामां गर्षितां व्रतचर्यया कथया वाचा पीडितः कृपया ब्रवीत् कर्तम उवाच दुष्टोऽहमद्य तव मानविमानतायाः शुश्रूषया परमया परया च भक्त्या यो देहि नामयमदीव सुहृत्स्वेतहो नावेक्षितः समुचितः शबितुं मदर्ते
The four,
ये
it's
मे
a four-liner tune, so you have to just adjust your meter there a little bit.
Oh, it's
Four liners.
continuous.
Yeah, no, it's four lines, right? So it'll be Tushtoha Madhya Tavamana Vimanadayaha Shushrusha Paramaya Paraya Cha Bhaktya.
Okay.
Listen that.
दुष्टोऽहमत्य तव मानविमानतायाः शुश्रूषया परमया परया च भक्त्या यो देहि नाम यमदीव सुहृत्स्वे देहो नावोषितः समुचितः शबितुं मदर्ते
Shamuchitaha.
श्रमुचितः मदर्ते
Yeah.
उचितः शबितुं मदर्ते. They the same tune for the other four.
Yeah. Wherever the long four lines are, yes.
Okay. ये मे स्वधर्म निरतस्य तपः समाधिविद्योत्मयोगविजिता बहवत् प्रसादाः तानेव ते मधुनुसेवनया वृत्तान् दृष्टिं प्रपश्य वितराम्य भयोन् शोकान्
Bhayana
अन्ये
Shokan.
भयानशोकान् अन्ये पुनर्भगवतो विजृम्भः विभ्रंसितार्थरचनास् किमु சாரி எப்படி சொல்லணும்னு தெரியல
Yeah. And the first time, Jrumbaha, there's no visarga. Anhe
ஓகே
punar bhagavato bhruva udvijrumba.
செகண்ட் லைன் சொல்லுங்க
Bibramshitartharachanah kimurukramasya.
विभ्रंसिदार्थरसनाः किमुरुक्रमस्य सिद्धासि पुंक्ष्व विभवान् निजधर्मदोहान् दिव्यानरैर्दुरतिकान् नृपविक्रियाभिः एवं ब्रुवाणं बला किल योगमाया विद्या विसर्षणमवेश्य गतातिरासीत् सम्प्रस्य प्रणय विह्वलाय क्रेशत् व्रीडावलोकविलसत्तसिताननाहय देवहूद्रिवास रातं पतत् मोहयोग मायादिपे त्वयि विभो तदवैमि पर्तः यस्तेऽप्यतायि समयः सकृतः सङ्गो सकृदङ्गसङ्गो भूयाद्गरीयसि गुणप्रसवस्तीनां तत्र रैटा
Prasavasatinam.
प्रसवः सतीनां तत्रेधिकृत्य मुपशि च यतोपदेशं येनैष मे कर्षितो त्रिरंस्यात्मा सिद्ध्येद सिद्ध्येद ते कृतमनो भवदर्शिदायाः दीनस्ततीशवनं दीनस्ततीशवनं सदृशं विशश्व मैत्रेय उवाच प्रियायाः प्रियमन्विच्छन् गर्तमो योगमास्थितः विमानं कामकं शब्दः दर्ह्येवा विरसीकरत् सर्वकामदुःखं दिव्यं सर्ववृत्तनसमन्वितं सर्वर्थयुपशयोत्तर्कं मणिस्तम्भैरुपस्कृतं दिव्योपकरणोपेतं सर्वकाल सुखावहं पट्टिकापि पताकाभिः विचित्राभि अलङ्कृतम्.
Yeah, I think that's where we stop here. Okay, so I think this one is like a pretty long chapter, 57 stanzas. So I'll first say first half meaning, and then at some point I'll stop, and then we'll continue with the meaning of the second half. Like, so kind of when we started on this, right, it was like the last chapter ended with Devahuti and Kardama getting married. And then briefly we covered the beginning of this chapter, right, where it said that after her parents left, now, at that time, Devahuti then continued to support Kardama. It's just like how Bhavani, how Parvati supports Shiva. So they were really making that comparison to say that it is kind of like a very, collaborative relationship between both, right? Because Kardama is like a very realized person. He meditated for 10,000 years. Swayam Bhagavan came in front of him and gave him a darshan. So Devahuti, of course, understands that, right? That he is a much more realized and enlightened person. And the way she can contribute is absolutely without any distractions and without giving up. It is giving up her lust, giving up her pride, any greed that she has. She gave up everything and she was just focused on completely supporting Kardama because she felt that was her service, because you could do service in any way and that was her service, right? And because she had been doing it for so many years, then what happened was her body had become very weak, because she was not taking care of her body. She had become very weak. And it talks about how, she had become like almost like sick, right? When you look at somebody, you say you're literally sick. That's how weak you are. So she had already become like that. She was not taking care of her body. So all this happens, but she continues to serve, right? Then at one point, after several years, right, Devahuti then approaches Kardama and says that um, the Kardama actually first appreciates her, right? Kardama appreciates her and he looks at it, right? He looks at Devahuti and says that, I have seen how much you have struggled for me. I have seen how much your body has, depreciated like this. And he then praises her also. Now, he tells Devahuti one important thing is that saying that while Kardama, has gone through the necessary austerities and has already seen Bhagavan and he has realized everything, he is in a state where he's free from any sorrow or any fear and shokam. He says shokam and bhayam. He says, I don't have any of that shokam and bhayam. I don't have any of that, right? But Devahuti is not in that state. And he says that for everybody, their body is very, very appreciative. We all love our body, right? So he says, despite that, you have actually done that. So he says, but don't worry. Even though you may not realize it, Bhagavan's blessing is definitely there for you. Otherwise, you would not have done all this, right? So he just praises Devahuti. Then at that time, he asks Devahuti, what do you want, right? Because you've served me so much. What do you want? So at that time, Devahuti then tells that, she tells Kardama that you are already perfect. You have already achieved all of this. You are not bound by Maya, right? But she says, but I am. Right? I still am not completely free of all these illusions. So she says, as a wife, he says, I need children, very similar to what Diti was telling Kashyapa, but Devahuti is in a much more structured way. She says that, for me, the ideal thing is we both have to be in union and we have to create child. At the end of the day, Kardama is also Prajapati, right? So she says, we have to create some children, right, between us. And she says, however, she says, I want to be pregnant. I want to become, pregnant with your children. But she says at the same time that look at my body right now. She says, the way I am right now, she says it's very difficult because she says nobody will feel attracted to me. And she doesn't quite say attracted, but she kind of says that I'm not fit right now to have a child because I'm just so weak right now. she raises 2 points. One, she says, physically, I'm not fit right now, but I want to have a child, number one. And second, she says that, like, when you are in a ashramam, like how Kardama is, that is for a certain purpose, right? That is a purpose where you are renouncing everything, you're constantly praying, you're meditating. That is fit for that. But she says, if we both have to get in union and have children, the ashramam is not the right place. If the environment is not conducive for that, right? So she says, number one is my body is very weak right now. And number two is this is not the right place for this, right? So she requests Kardama saying, you know what to do. So you decide what is the right thing and then do it, right? That's a request. Two requests Devahuti makes. So at that time, Kardama, it talks about how with this yogic power, because he's extremely powerful, right, Kardama? And when somebody has like Ashta Siddhi kind of strength, right? So we see, they can become lighter than the lightest, heavier than the heaviest, they can move all of that thing. So he says Kardama with his yogic power creates a huge aerial ship. He creates a Vimana, which is like a castle in the air. And it then goes on to describe extensively how this Vimana is. It says that, it is just with his yogic power, with this, he wished for it and it happens, right? And then it talks extensively about how big and how decked up that Vimana is, right? It talked about it had all these jewels in it, it had pillars everywhere, and then it could, yield whatever you want. It had all the luxuries one can actually imagine of. So it had multiple levels, floors in there, and all of them had the appropriate, furniture and beds and everything which are required in each floor. And it just looked extremely, charming. It was filled with golds and diamonds. It talks about all of that. It had real swans and pigeons, it says, inside the Vimana. And it also had artificial pigeons and swans, but they all resembled each other. And with this, even Kardama, it says, was so surprised that with this yogic power, he could create something like this, right? So it was like one of those things, and this could go anywhere it wants. And it'll going to come a little bit later. But, so it's a massive castle. He actually like a aerial ship, a spaceship kind of thing, which Kardama then builds with his yogic power. Now, Devahuti looks at it, and then she's just stunned looking at it. Now, looking at her, Kardama can imagine saying that when you have such a big thing and Kardama and Devahuti are going to be in it, it's natural that Devahuti is going to feel, I can't go into that the way I am right now. Like, if she's looking very ragged, right? Clothes are completely gone. She's very weak. So she's looking at them wondering, Kardama has created all these aerial things. That's great. How can I go in this form in there? So that's what Devahuti is thinking. Kardama realizes that. So Kardama then tells Devahuti, that Bindu Sarovar we spoke about first, where Kardama was meditating, and it says it's Shiva Mrita Jalam, where it is like it's purified water, right? So, it's wish-yielding water. So Kardama tells Devahuti, I want you to go to that, Bindu Sarovar and take a dip. You go take a dip in there. So, and then with his yogic powers, he then brings in enough number of supporting maidens, like women, to make her look pretty. So literally she dips into that Bindu Sarovar. And then there are like, it talks about Shatani Dasha Kanyakaha in 26. And Shatani is hundreds. So, hundreds of young women, like think of it like beauticians kind of thing, right? So all these people are coming there to aid Devahuti. And then they come and they all are, giving her the appropriate food, which is going to make her healthy. They are, bathing her, and she's getting adorned with enough clothes and jewels and all of that stuff. And she's beginning to look like a princess, like how she was when Swayambhu Manu got her. Because Swayambhu Manu is a king. So as a king's daughter, she was a princess. She was well decked. Now for so many years, she's been staying with Kardama, and she had become this. So she was completely changed. And then again, it talks extensively about how good Devahuti now looks. So she looks like a princess who is eligible to be able to, step into that aerial vehicle and go wherever they want, right? So with that, they go in. So now I'll just finish it off. So they then get into that aerial vehicle. Kardama, Devahuti, all of this accompanying women, everybody to support them, they all get in there. And it talks about how this aerial vehicle can literally go anywhere it wants. It talks about how at first he goes to Mount Meru. He goes to the place where Kubera is, normally residing there. Then it talks about all the other, celestial gardens. It talks about whole bunch of names of these gardens it goes to. It specifically tells he goes through various planetary systems, goes through various regions. He says some of which even the devas cannot go to. So he's having access to all of these places. So, the 14 layers. So he goes through a lot of those places, and it says it can go at very high speed, that he can just wish where he wants to be, and this Vimana can take them there. So with that, they go to all of these other things, and then he literally shows Devahuti what the entire universe is, all the planetary systems which are there, all the best places to go and relax, and all of that they do, and then they come back. Now, Devahuti needs children. So what Kardama knows, they're like, when Bhagavan met Kardama, he said, you're going to have 9 daughters first, who are then going to get married to sages. So what Kardama, now, in this case, it is not like the union we have, which is to just, we have a union and child is born here. They are very specifically, Kardama has to create 9 daughters who are eligible to be married by great sages. So all these lot of great sages are going to marry these 9 daughters. So it cannot be like he can just go and, they can get in union and have children. So Kardama, with his yogic power, he splits himself into 9 different personalities. Because each of that, because the most important thing it talks about is whatever you have in your mind at the time of the union gets transferred into the Garbham. So he has to be in the right state of mind in 9 different personalities, because they have to create 9 unique daughters, each of whom great sages are going to marry, and they're going to grow the population. So it talks extensively about, the process Kardama goes through of dividing himself into 9 different personalities or 9 different bodies. And, with that, the Kardama and Devahuti get into a union, and it talks about the previous one. When they are traveling and all that stuff, it talks about they go through 100 autumns, which means 100 years. They're just roaming. They're just roaming and relaxing. So it's like the honeymoon they did not have, right? So they just kind of go everywhere for 100 years, relax. Then they come back, and then Kardama splits himself into 9 personalities. And then it says on the same day, and that it specifically says, so don't ask me how, it specifically says on the same day, Devahuti gives birth to 9 girl children. Right? The 9 daughters are born on the same day. Now, after these daughters are born, Kardama is like, okay, you took care of me. I given you all the luxuries you can think of. I took you around the entire universe, showed you all the great worlds. I've given you 9 children, right? Kardama says, time for me to go to the forest now, because that was my original plan. Was, after I give you children, I'm going to go back and I'm going to take the sannyasa. My focus is to pray to Bhagavan, right? So Kardama says, I want to go back right now. So at that time, Devahuti puts another request, right, to him. He says, Kardama, couple of things she says, right? One, she says is, you are given 9 daughters. Great. All these 9 daughters are going to grow up, and they're all going to find eligible sages for them to marry. They're all going to go. You are going to go to the forest. I'm going to be left alone right now. See, she says, that's a little bit of a problem. She says, I have nobody to take care of me or to support me. That's the first thing, which is a little bit insignificant, because the rest of the thing she says is more important. But she says that is the first point she says. The second thing she says is, you have already realized all the knowledge. You have all the knowledge that is to know. She says, I know nothing, right? I'm still bound by Maya. I came and I asked you for all these material things, which you have now given me all these material things. You showed me all these things, but I know that is not the ultimate knowledge, right? So I don't have enough knowledge for me to realize Bhagavan like you are able to realize. That's the second point she raises. And the third point she says is, she says how it's unfortunate. She says how much I'm bound by Maya, that she says that I am married to you, who's such a realized soul. I wasted all my life without getting that knowledge from you. Right? So it's like, they say, like you're sitting right next to you, are with the person who has all the knowledge. And if you don't leverage that thing, she says that is all because I'm ignorant about a lot of these things, right? Because of this, she says that I have not been able to realize all the knowledge. I let you go for these hundreds and hundreds of years. I wasted you by going to all these other planets with you. Instead, I should have sat with you and gotten all the knowledge, right? So she says, I have not done that. She says, because I'm still ignorant. So she says, you can't just leave me like this and go right now. She says, you got to make sure that I am also getting realized. I also get liberated, just like how you are going to get liberated. And she says that is your duty, right? So with that, so this chapter comes to an end of Devahuti lamenting about, how she has not yet been realized. And she tells Kardama, you are the one who has to help me out, right? And anyway, next chapter is going to continue because Bhagavan has to be born as Kapila Muni, right? To help Devahuti out. So that's what is going to happen in the next chapter anyway. So, okay. So we will start from 15, right? Okay. So let me see who I had for today. Sudha, you can be student, and Priya, you can be student. Priya, Arun.
Sure. Sure, Rajesh.
15, yeah, okay. Let me just note down the time. Sragbir Vichitra Malyabihi. So put a visarga and comma there. Next on that Manju, that ir goes away. Manju Shinjat Shadangribihi Dukula Kshauma Kausheyehi. Put a visarga comma Kausheyehi. Nana Vastrair Virajitam. So right now this is kind of Devahuti getting all decked up, right? She's getting with all the women helping Devahuti out, and then she's getting all clothes and jewels and all that. Sragbhir Vichitramalyabihi Manjushinjat Shadangribihi Dukula Kshauma Kausheyehi Nana Vastrair Virajitam.
माल्याभिः मञ्जुषिञ्चक्षडङ्घ्रिभिः दुकूलक्षौमकौशेयैः नानावस्त्रैर्विराजितम्
रग्भिर्विचित्रमाल्याभिः मञ्जुषिञ्चक्षडङ्घ्रिभिः दुकूलक्षौमकौशेयैः नानावस्त्रैर्विराजितम्.
Uparyupari vinyasta, put a plus, nilayeshu pritak pritak, kshiptaih kashipubih kantam, comma, paryanka vyajanasanaihi. Uparyupari vinyasta nilayeshu pritak pritak, kshiptaih kashipubih kantam, paryanka vyajanasanaihi.
उपर्युपरि विन्यस्तनिलयेषु पृथक् पृथक् क्षिप्तैः कशिपुभिः कान्तं पर्यङ्कव्यजनासनैः.
उपर्युपरि विन्यस्तनिलयेषु पृथक् पृथक् क्षिप्तैः कशिपुः कान्तं पर्यङ्कव्यजनासनैः.
This is already, they already have the Vimana. This one, let me just tell you where it starts. In the stanza 12, it says, Vimanam Kamagam Kshattaha. So that is a place where the aerial vehicle comes. So all of this is not talking about Devahuti, talking about the aerial vehicle itself decked up with all these different things. Tatra Vinikshipta, put a plus, Nana Shilpopa Shobitam, Maha Marakata Sthalya, comma, Jushtam Vidruma Vedibihi. So Marakatam refers to emeralds. So started with emeralds and corals and all those jewels. Tatra Vinikshipta Nana Shilpopashobhitam Maha Marakata Sthalya Jushtam Vidruma Vedibihi.
तत्र विनिक्षिप्तनानाशिल्पोपशोभितं महामरकतस्थल्या जुष्टं विद्रुमवेदिभिः.
तत्र विनिक्षिप्तनानाशिल्पोपशोभितं महामरकतस्थल्या जुष्टं विद्रुमवेदिभिः.
Dvasu Vidruma Dehalya, comma, Bhatam Vajra Kapatavat Shikareshvindra Neeleshu, comma, Hema Kumbhair Adishritam. I'm just breaking it rather. Kumbhair Adishritam. Dvasu Vidruma Dehalya Bhatam Vajra Kapatavat Shikareshvindra Neeleshu Hema Kumbhair Adishritam.
द्वासु विद्रुमदेहल्या भातं वज्रकपाटवत् शिखरेष्वेन्द्रनीलेषु हेमकुम्भैरधिश्रितम्
adishritam
हेमकुम्भैरधिश्रितम्
वासु विद्रुमदेहल्या पादं वज्रकपाटवत् शिखरेष्विन्द्रनीलेषु हेमकुम्भैरधिश्रुतम्
chakshush mat padma ragagraihi. So put a visarga comma ragagraihi. Next on the ir on top of va goes away. Vajra bhittishu nirmitaihi. Jushtam vichitra vaitanaihi. Again visarga comma. Ir on top of ma goes away. Maharhair hema toranaihi. चक्षुष्मत्पद्मरागाग्रैः वज्रभित्तिषु निर्मितैः जुष्टं विचित्रवैतानैः महार्हैर्हेमतोरणैः
चक्षुष्मत्पद्मरागाग्रैः वज्रभित्तिषु निर्मितैः जुष्टं विचित्रवैतानैः महार्हैर्हेमतोरणैः
चक्षुष्मत्पद्मरागाग्रैः वज्रभिद्दिषु निर्मितैः जुष्टं विचित्रवैतानैः महार्हैर्हेमतोरणैः
Hamsa.
Rajeshji,
Yeah.
on the previous one, 18, the first line, Dasu Vidruma Dehalya Bhadam Vajra, is it Kapadavad or Kavadavad? P or V?
P.
Ah,
Kapatavat.
Thank you, Rajeshji.
Hamsa paravata brataihi. That is goes away. Visarga comma. Tatra nikujitam. Kritriman manyamanai swan. I'm just breaking at that na in swan, comma. Next word starts with the a. Adiruhyadi ruhyacha. It's together one word. Adiruhyadi ruhyacha. Hamsaparavata vrataihi. Tatra nikujitam. Kritriman manyamanai swan. Adiruhyadiruhyacha.
हंसपारावतव्रातैः तत्र निकूजितं कृत्रिमान् मन्यमानैः स्वान् अधिरुह्यादिरुह्य च
हंसपारावतव्रातैः तत्र निकूजितं कृत्रिमान् मन्यमानैः स्वान् अधिरुह्यादिरुह्य च
Vihara sthana vishrama, put a plus, samvesha pranganajiraihi yathopajosham rachitaihi, visarga comma. Next word ir goes away. Vismapanam ivatmanaha. I'm just breaking at that me. Viharasthana vishrama samvesha pranganajiraihi yathopajosham rachitaihi vismapanamivatmanaha.
विहारस्थानविश्रामसंवेश प्राङ्गणाजिरैः यथोपजोषं रचितैः विस्मापनमिवात्मनः
Vismapanam ivatmanaha.
विस्मापनम् इवात्मनः
विहारस्थानविश्रामसंवेशप्राङ्गणाजिरैः यतोपजोषं रचितैः विस्मापनमिवात्मनः
Idrik griham tat pashyantim, comma, nati pritena chetasa sarva bhutashaya bhignyah, one word, comma, pravochat kardamas swayam. Idrigriham tat pashyantim nati pritena chetasa sarva bhutashaya bhignyah pravochat kardamas swayam.
ईदृगृहं पश्यन्तीं नातिप्रीतेन चेतसा सर्वभूताशयाभिज्ञः प्रावोचत्कर्दमस्वयम्
ईदृगृहं तत्पश्यन्तीं नातिप्रीतेन चेतसा सर्वभूताशयाभिज्ञः प्रावोचत्कर्दमस्वयम्
Nimajjan asmin, double ij coming there. Nimajjan asmin ह्रदे भीरु, विमानम् इदमारुह, idam shukla kritam tirtham, breaking at that ma there, im, ashisham yapakam nrinam. So that tirtham, shukla kritam tirtham, she is telling her to take a dip in that bindu sarovar there.
ராஜசங்கர் நிமஜ்யாஸ்மின் ஹிருதே பீருன்னு இருக்கு.
Nimajyan asmin இருக்கு. Nimajyan asmin.
Okay,
நிமஜ்யாஸ்மின்.
நிமஜ்யாஸ்மின்.
இஸ்ஸு தான் இருக்கு எங்களுக்கு, என்ன இல்ல. நிபஜ்யாஸ்மின்.
எஸ்.
இல்ல இன்னொருல nimajyan asmin. Nimajyan.
It's okay. நிமஜ்யான் அஸ்மின்னா.
Yeah, so let me just type it. So one second. Nimajyan. I just put it in the chat window there.
We don't have yan. இன்னும் இல்ல எங்களுக்கு. நிமஜ்யாஸ்மின் தான் இருக்கு.
Okay, I don't know why. Yeah, nimajyan asmin. I don't know if anybody is following Sanskrit, if in is there, but
நான் சான்ஸ்கிரிட் புக் தான் வச்சிருக்கேன்.
சான்ஸ்கிரிட் புக் இருக்கு.
சான்ஸ்கிரிட்லயும் இல்ல. சான்ஸ்கிரிட் நிமஜ்யாஸ்மின் தான்.
Okay, I don't know that. So I learned it. Anyway, we just
Giri book has it. The Giri book has it. Nimajyan asmin.
Okay, so yeah, in order to Giri the Amma. So anyway, just change it. If you don't have it, change it to the one I typed in the chat.
Yeah, even ours is Giri only, but it's not that.
Okay. Sorry, did I chat it or no?
No.
Okay. Nimajyanasmin hrade bhiru vimanam idamaruha idam shuklakritam tirtam ashisham yapakam nrinam.
निमज्यानस्मिन् हृदे बीरु विमानमिदमारुह इदं शुक्लकृतं तीर्थम् आशिषां यापकं नृणाम्.
निमज्यानस्मिन् हृदे बीरु विमानमिदमारुह इदं शुक्लकृतं तीर्थम् आशिषां यापकं नृणाम्.
सा तद्भर्तुः समादाय, वचः कुवलयेक्षणा सरजं बिभ्रति वासो, वेणी भूतांश्च मूर्धजान्. सा तद्भर्तुः समादाय वचः कुवलयेक्षणा सरजं बिभ्रति वासो, वेणी भूतांश्च मूर्धजान्.
सा तद्भर्तुः समादाय वचः कुवलयेक्षणा सरजं बिभ्रति वासो वेणीभूतांश्च मूर्धजान्.
तद्भर्तुः समादाय वचः कुवलयेक्षणा सरजं बिभ्रति वासो वेणीभूतांश्च मूर्धजान्.
अंगं च मलपङ्केन, सञ्छन्नं शबलस्थनम् आविवेश सरस्वत्याः, सरशिवजलाशयम्. अंगं च मलपङ्केन सञ्छन्नं शबलस्थनम् आविवेश सरस्वत्याः सरशिवजलाशयम्.
अंगं च मलपङ्केन सञ्छन्नं शबलस्थनम् आविवेश सरस्वत्याः सरशिवजलाशयम्.
गं च मलपङ्केन सञ्छन्नं शबलस्थनम् आविवेश सरस्वत्याः सरशिवजलाशयम्.
सान्तस् सरसि वेश्मस्थाः, शतानि दश कन्यकाः सर्वाः किशोर वयसो, ददर्शोत्पल गन्धयः. सान्तः सरसि वेश्मस्ताः शतानि दश कन्यकाः सर्वाः किशोर वयसो ददर्शोत्पल गन्धयः.
सान्तः सरसि वेश्मस्ताः शतानि दश कन्यकाः सर्वा किशोर वयसो ददर्शोत्पलगन्धयः.
सान्तः सरसि वेश्मस्ताः शतानि दश कन्यकाः सर्वाः किशोरवयसो ददर्शोत्पलगन्धयः.
तां दृष्ट्वा सहसोत्थाय, प्रोचुः प्राञ्जलयः स्त्रियः, वयं karma karis tubhyam, comma, shadinah karavama kim. तां दृष्ट्वा सहसोत्थाय प्रोचुः प्राञ्जलयस्त्रियः वयं कर्म करीस्तुभ्यं शादिनः करवाम किम्.
तां दृष्ट्वा सहसोत्थाय प्रोचुः प्राञ्जलयस्त्रियः वयं कर्म करीस्तुभ्यं शादिनः करवाम किम्.
तां दृष्ट्वा सहसोत्थाय प्रोचुः प्राञ्जलयस्त्रियः वयं कर्म करिस्तुभ्यं शादिनः करवाम किम्.
स्नानेन तां महार्हेण, स्नापयित्वा मनस्विनीं दुकूले निर्मले नूत्ने, ददुरस्यै च मानदाः. स्नानेन तां महार्हेण स्नापयित्वा मनस्विनीं दुकूले निर्मले नूत्ने ददुरस्यै च मानदाः.
स्नानेन तामहार्हेण स्थापयित्वा मनस्विनीं दुकूले निर्मले नूत्ने ददुरस्यै च मानदाः.
स्नानेन तामहार्हेण स्नापयित्वा मनस्विनीं दुकूले निर्मले नूत्ने दधुरस्यै च मानदाः.
भूषणानि परार्ध्यानि, वरीयांसि द्युमन्ति च अन्नं सर्वगुणोपेतं, पानं चैवामृतासवम्. So, chaiva amrita, like I said, like because they are decorating, or making Devahuti more healthier and everything, so they're giving her the right kind of food which is going to strengthen her very fast, and also a special type of liquid, it says, which is like amritam but not amritam, but something which is like that, which is going to make her rejuvenate much faster. Bhushanani parardhyani variyam siddhyumanti cha annam sarvagunopetam panam chaivamritasavam.
भूषणानि परार्ध्यानि वरीयां सिद्ध्युमन्ति च अन्नं सर्वगुणोपेतं पानं चैवामृतासवम्.
भूषणानि परार्ध्यानि वरीयांसि द्युमन्ति च अन्नं सर्वगुणोपेतं पानं चैवामृतासवम्.
Okay, we'll just switch. We'll another 28, so we'll do another 14 and end the class here today. Let me see who I had today. And Shanti, you can be a student, and Sriram, you can be a student. Atha darshe swamatmanam, sragvinam virajambaram, virajam krita swastyayanam, kanyabhir bahu manitam. अथादर्शे स्वमात्मानं स्रग्विनं विरजाम्बरं विरजं कृतस्वस्त्ययनं कन्याभिर्बहुमानितम्.
अथादर्शे स्वमात्मानं स्रग्विणं विरजाम्बरं विरजं स्वस्त्ययनं कन्याभिर्बहुमानितम्.
अदादर्शे स्वमात्मानं स्रग्विनं विरजाम्बरं विरजं क्रतस्वस्त्ययनं कन्याभिर्बहुमानितं. विरजं कृतस्वत्ययनं कन्याभिर्बहुमानितम्.
स्नातं कृत शिरस्नानं, सर्वाभरण भूषितं निष्कग्रीवं वलयिनं, कूजत् काञ्चन नूपुरम्. स्नातं कृतशिरस्नानं सर्वाभरणभूषितं निष्कग्रीवं वलयिनं कूजत् काञ्चन नूपुरम्.
स्नातं कृतशिरस्नानं सर्वाभरणभूषितं निष्कग्रीवं वलयिनं कूजत् काञ्चननूपुरम्.
स्नातं कृतशिरस्नानं सर्वाभरणभूषितं निष्कग्रीवं वलयिनं कूजत् काञ्चननूपुरम्.
Shronyor adhyasthaya. I'm just breaking at that ra there. Shronyor adhyasthaya Kanchya, in and ich, Kanchya, comma, Kanchanya Bahuratnaya, Harena cha Maharhena, comma, Ruchakena cha Bhushitam. Shronyor Adyastaya Kanchya, Kanchanya Bahuratnaya, Harena cha Maharhena, Ruchakena cha Bhushitam.
श्रोण्योरध्यस्तया काञ्च्या काञ्चन्या बहुरत्नया हारेण च महार्हेण रुचकेन च भूषितम्
Shenyor as Shronyor then right?
Shronyor.
Shronyor Atyastya Kanchya Kanchanya Bahuratnaya Harena cha Makarhena Rusakena cha Bhushitam.
Sudata Subruva Shlakshna, put a plus, Snigdha Pangena Chakshusha, Padma Kosha Spridha Neelaihi. The ra goes away, Visarga comma Neelaihi. Next word starts with the a. Alakaischa Lasan Mukham. Sudata Subhruvashlakshna Snigdha Pangena Chakshusha Padmakosha Spridha Neelaihi Alakaischa Lasan Mukham.
सुतता सुब्रुवास्लक्षण लक्षणस्निग्धापाङ्गेन चक्षुषा पद्मकोशस्पृता नीलैः अलकैश्च लसन्मुखम्.
Kantiyanga Shlakshana, you are saying it's Shlakshna.
Slakshna, okay.
Yeah.
Slakshna.
Sutata Supruvas Lakshnas Nikta Pangena Sakshusha Patmakosas Prata Neelaihi Alaikaischa Lasanmugam.
Alakaischa.
Alakaischa Lasanmugam.
Yada Sasmara Rishabham. Put a im there, comma. Next word will start with the Rishinam Dayitam Patim. Tatra chaste saha stribihi. Put a visarga comma, stribihi. Next that yatraste, the ir goes away. Yatraste sa prajapatihi. Yadha sasmara rishabham rishinam dayitam patim. Tatra chaste saha stribihi. Yatraste sa prajapatihi.
यथा सस्मारऋषभं ऋषीणां दयितं पदिं तत्र सास्ते सहस्त्रीभिः यत्रास्ते स प्रजापतिः.
Yada Sasmara Rushabam Rushinam Taidam Padim Tatra Saste Sahastribihi Yatraste Sa Prajabadihi.
Bhartuf Purastad Atmanam. I'm just breaking at the da there. Purastad Atmanam, comma. Stri Sahasra Vritam Pada Nishamya Tadyoga Gatim, comma. Samshayam Pratyapadyata. Bhartuf Purastad Atmanam Stri Sahasra Vritam Tada Nishamya Tadyoga Gatim Samshayam Pratyapadyata.
भर्तुः पुरस्तादात्मानं स्त्रीसहस्रवृदं तथा निशाम्य तत्योगगतिं संशयं प्रत्यपद्यत.
Partuf Purastatatmanam Stri Sagasravritam Tada Nisamyatat Yoga Kadim Samsayam Pratyapatyada.
Satam Krita Mala Snanam, comma. Vibhrajantim apurvavat, breaking at that ma there, Vibhrajantim apurvavat, Atmano Bhibratim Rupam, comma, Samvita Ruchira Sthanim. Satam Kritamala Snanam Vibhrajantim apurvavat, Atmano Bhibratim Rupam, Samvita Ruchira Sthanim.
सदाङ्कृतमलस्नानं विप्राजन्तीम् अपूर्ववत् आत्मनो बिप्रतीं रूपं संवीतरुचिरस्तनीम्.
First line, Shanti, snanam.
Okay. सदां कृतमलस्नानां.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
तदां कृतमलस्नानानां विप्राजान्तिम् अपूर्ववत् आत्मनो विप्रतिं रूपं संविदर्रुचिरस्तनीम्.
And the first line after comma, Vibrajantim.
सदां कृतमलस्नानां विप्राजन्तीम् अपूर्ववत्.
Yeah. Vidyadhari sahasrena, comma, sevyamanam suvasasam, jata bhavo vimanam tat, just breaking at the da there, tat, comma. Next word starts with a. Arohayat damitrahan. If you want to break it, it's Arohayat amitrahan, or you can say that together. Vidyadhari sahasrena sevyamanam suvasasam jata bhavo vimanam tat arohayat amitrahan.
विद्याधरी सहस्रेण सेव्यमानां सुवाससं जातभावो विमानं तद् आरोहयत् अमित्रहन्.
विद्याधरिसहस्रेण सेव्यमानां सुवाससं जातभावो विमानं तत् आरोहयत मित्रहन्.
Tasminna lupta mahima priyayanurakto, comma, vidyadharibhir. See this one, little difficult to break it. Vidyadharibhir upachirna vapur vimane babhraja utkacha kumut ganavan apichyaha. I'm just breaking that. Ganavan apichyaha. Put a visarga comma. Next line, if you have the is, that will go away. Tarabhiravrita ivodu patir nabhastaha. Tasminna lupta mahima priyayanurakto vidyadharibirupachirna vapur vimane babhraja utkacha kumud ganavana pichyaha tarabhiravrita ivodu patir nabhastaha.
तस्मिन्नलुप्तमहिमा प्रिययानुरक्तो विद्याधरीभिरुपचीर्णवभुर्विमाने बभ्राज उत्कचकुमुद्गणवान् वीक्ष्य गणवानपीच्यः ताराभिरावृत इवोडुपधिर्नभस्तः.
तस्मिन्नलुप्तमहिमा प्रियनानुरक्तो विद्याधरीभिरुपसीर्णवविर्नवभुर्विमाने पप्राच उत्कसकुमत्कनवान् वीक्ष्यः ताराभिरावृतैवोडुबधिर्नभस्तः.
Tenashta lokapa vihara kulachalendra, put a plus, dronishwa nanga sakha maruta saubhagasu. So both of those lines together. Siddhair nuto dhyudhuni pata shiva swanasu, comma, reme chiram dhanada vallalana varuti. Dhanada vallalana varuti. This is where they start going to all the various places, starting from Mount Meru. Tenashtalokapavihaara kulachalendra dronishwananga sakamaruta saubhagasu siddhairnuto dhyudhunipata shivaswanasu reme chiram dhanada vallalana varuthi.
तेनाष्टलोकपविहारकुलोचलेन्द्रद्रोणीष्वनङ्ग सकमारुदसौभकासु सिद्धैर्नुतोद्युतुनिपादशिवस्वनासु रेमे चिरं दनदवल्ललनावरूति.
And the first line, Kulach, I think something you said different, but Vihara Kulachalendra.
देनाष्टलोकपविहारकुलाचलेन्द्रक्रोणीष्वनङ्ग सकमारुतशौभकाशु
Yeah.
धेनाष्टलोकपविहारकुलाचलेन्द्रद्रोणिष्वनङ्गसकमारुत सौपकासु सिद्धैर्नुदोत्युतु निपात शिवस्वनासु रेमे सिरं तनतवल्ललनावृपरूति
Vaishrambake Surasane, Nandane Pushpabhadrake, Manase Chaitra Ratyecha, Sareme Ramaya Rataha. So it talks about the various places Vaishrambaka, Surasana, Nandana, Pushpabhadraka, and then Chaitra Ratya. Those are all different, I don't know what those places are either, but those are all supposed to be some places outside of this earthly plane, which are considered very special, right? Where they're visiting all of those places. Vaishrambhake Surasane, Nandane Pushpabhadrake, Manase Chaitraratye cha, Sareme Ramaya Rataha.
वैश्रम्भके सुरसने नन्दने पुष्पवत्
And after Surasane, comma.
वैश्रम्भके सुरसने नन्दने पुष्पभद्रके मानसे चैत्ररथ्ये च सरेमे रामया रतः
वैश्रम्भके सुरशने नन्दने पुष्पपत्रके मानसे चैत्ररथ्ये च सरमे रामयारदः
And last line, Sareme.
मानसे चैत्ररथ्य सरेमे रामय
The Sareme Ramaya Rataha.
sorry.
Okay, I think in the Reme, you said something else. That's all.
Okay.
Dhajishnuna Bimanena, Kamagena Mahiyasa, Vaimanikan Atyasheta. You can break it that na if you want. Vaimanikan Atyasheta, Charal Lokan Yatha Nilaha. So just talks about here, wherever they want, they were able to go through the various things that at their will, he could take to any planet he wanted. Bhajishnuna vimanena kamagena mahiyasa vaimanikan atyasheta charallokan yatha nilaha.
प्राजिष्णुना विमानेन कामकेन महीयसा वैमानिकानद्यसेद चरन् श्लोकान् यथा निलः
प्राजिष्णुना विमानेन कामकेन महीयसा वैमनिकानत्येसेद सरन् लोकान् यदा निलः.
Second line, first word mattum, Vaimanikan.
Vaimanikanatyeseed.
Yeah.
Rajesh,
yeah.
The second part of that line, is it Charam Logan or Charalogan?
See, that is Sharan is the right word, but because La is coming later, it becomes a double ill there. So it's like Charal Lokan.
Oh, okay. So the in sound is not there.
Yeah, it becomes a double ill there because of that.
Okay. Thank you, Rajesh.
Kim Durapadanam Tesham, Pumsam Uddama Chetasam, Yairashritas Tirtha Padaha, that ish goes away, Visarga, Padaha, Charano Vyasanatyayah. Kim Durapadanam Tesham, Pumsam Uddama Chetasam, Yairashritas Tirtha Padaha, Charano Vyasanatyayah.
किं तुराबादनं तेषां पुंसामुत्तामचेतसां यैराश्रितस्तीर्थपदः चरणो व्यसनात्ययः
किं दूरपदानं देशां पुंसाम् उद्दामसेतसां यैराश्रितस्तीर्थपदः शरणो व्यसनात्ययः
First line, second word. Durapadanam.
किं दुरापादनं देशां
Yeah.
Rajesh, one doubt actually. Yairashritas Trirtha or Tirtha?
Tirtha.
T-H-E.
Yeah, Tirtham. Tirtha.
Tirtha. Okay.
Yeah. प्रेक्षयित्वा भुवो गोलं पत्न्यै यावान् स्वसंस्थया बह्वाश्चर्यं महायोगी स्वाश्रमाय न्यवर्तत प्रेक्षयित्वा भुवो गोलं पत्न्यै यावान् स्वसंस्थया बह्वाश्चर्यं महायोगी स्वाश्रमाय न्यवर्तत
प्रेक्षयित्वा भुवोकोलं पत्न्यै यावान् स्वसंस्थया बह्वाश्चर्यं महायोगी स्वाश्रमाय न्यवर्तत
प्रेक्षयित्वा भुवो कोलं पत्न्यै यावान् स्वसंस्थया बह्वाश्चर्यं महायोगी स्वाश्रमाय निवर्तत
बिभज्य नवधात्मानं मानवीं सुरतोत्सुकां रामां निरमयन् रेमे वर्ष पूगान् मुहूर्तवत्. So here Navada Atmanam, this is where he splits himself into 9 personalities. Vibhajya Navadhatmanam Manavim Suratotsukam Ramam Niramayan Reme Varshapugan Muhurtavat.
विभज्यनवदात्मानं मानवीं सुरदोत्सुकां रामां निरमयन् रेमे वर्षभूगान् मुहूर्तवत्.
Rajesh, a question.
Yeah.
Does Devahuti also split into 9 or is it only Kardama?
Only Kardama. So at least the description goes that he splits himself into 9 personalities and they all impregnate Devahuti. And so in a single time, she has 9 children. That's what happens. And on the same day, she delivers 9 girls through 9 different personalities of Kardama. That's how the explanation goes.
Vibhajya navadatmanam manavim suradotsugam ramam niramayandre me varshabhogan muhurtavat.
Okay, so we'll just switch for the last 14 stanzas. Sindhuji, you can be a student, and let me see. Srividya, you can be a student. For 45.
Rajesh, Rajesh, I have been a student for 2 weeks continuously. You want to pick somebody else?
Let me a couple of weeks. I know you're going to miss. That's why. Now count to
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No problem. Okay.
Tasmin vimana utkrishtam, shayyam ratikarim shrita na chabudhyata tam kalam, patyapichena sangata. Tasmin vimana utkrishtam shayyam ratikarim shrita na chabudhyata tam kalam patyapichena sangata.
Go ahead, please.
Go ahead, Sindhuji.
Tasmin vimana utkrishtam shayyam radikarim sridam na chabudhyadatam kalam patyabhichena sangada.
Tasmin vimana utkashtam shayyam ratikarim shruta nacham putyatam kalam patyapichena sangata.
First line just before the comma. Utkrishtam.
Utkrishtam, okay.
Evam yoganubhavena, dampatyo ramamanayoho shatam vyatiyush sharadaha, kama lalasayor manak. Evam yoganubhavena dampatyo ramamanayoho shatam vyatiyush sharadaha kama lalasayor manak.
Evam yoganubhavena दम्पत्यो रममाणयोः शतं व्यदीयुः शरदः कामलालसयोर्मनाग
एवं योगानुभावेन दम्पत्यो रममाणयोः शतं व्यतीयुः शरदः कामलालसयोर्मनाक्.
And the second line, first word shatam, I heard tatam.
Sorry, I said shatam. Okay,
Yeah, okay.
I'll make a note.
No worries. Tasyam adhatta retastam, comma, bhavayan atmanatmavit. So it's bhavayan atmana atmavit, but it becomes bhavayan atmanatmavit together. Nodha vidhaya rupam swam, comma, sarva sankalpa vidvibuhu. Tasyam adhattaretastam bhavayanatmanatmavit nodha vidhaya rupam swam sarva sankalpa vidvibuhu.
तस्यामाधत्तरेदस्तां भावयन्नात्मनात्मविद् नोधा विधाय रूपं स्वं सर्वसङ्कल्पविद्विभुः
तस्यामादत्तरेतस्तां भावयन्नात्मनात्मवित् नोधा विधाय रूपं स्वं सर्वसङ्कल्पविद्विभुः.
Atas sa sushuve sadyo, comma, devahutis striyaf prajaha sarvas tash charu sarvangyo, comma, lohitotpala gandhayah. Atassa sushuve sadyo devahutestriyah prajaha sarvastascharu sarvangyo. Sorry. Sarvastascharu sarvangyo lohitotpalagandhayah.
अदस्सा सुषुवे सद्यो देवहूदिस्त्रियप्रजाः सर्वास्ताश्चारु सर्वाङ्ग्यो लोहितोत्पलगन्धयः
अतः सा सुषुवे सद्यो देवहूतिस्त्रियः प्रजाः सर्वास्ताश्चारु सर्वाङ्ग्यो लोहितोत्पलगन्धयः.
Patim sa pravrajishyantam, comma, tada lakshyoshati, one word, tada lakshyoshati sati smayamana viklavena, comma, hridayena viduyata. Patim sa pravrajishyantam tada lakshyoshati sati smayamana viklavena hridayena viduyata.
पदिंसा प्रव्रजिष्यन्तं तदा लक्ष्योषधि सदी स्मयमाना विक्लवेन हृदयेन विदूयदा
पतिं सा प्रवचिष्यन्तं तदा लक्ष्योषति सति स्मयमाना विक्लवेन हृदयेन विधूयता.
लिखन्त्यधो मुखी भूमिं, comma, pada nakha mani shriya uvacha lalitam vacham, comma, nirudhyashu kalam shanaihi. लिखन्त्यधो मुखी भूमिं pada nakha mani shriya uvacha lalitam vacham nirudhyashu kalam shanaihi.
लिखन्त्यधोमुखी भूमिं पदानखमणिश्रिया उवाच ललितां वाचं निरुध्याश्रुकलां शनैः
लिखन्त्यधोमुखीं भूमिं पदानखमणिश्रिया उवाच ललितां वाचं निरुध्याश्रुकलां शनैः.
देवहूतिरु वाचा sarvam tat bhagavan mahyam im, comma, next word starts with the u, upovaha pratishrutam athapi me prapannayaha, put a visarga comma there, just putting on it, abhayam dhatumarhasi. So here she says the one word she's talking about is abhayam. Now it doesn't mean, abhayam means fearlessness, no bhayam, but it is not referring to fear from just regular things, right? No, she's saying that she needs the fear of this material life has to go away, right? Not the other fear she has. So she is, you've given me all the pleasures in this world, but I still am illusioned by this Maya. I still am attached to these material things. So I need the fear from that to go away. So no more attachment to material things. So that knowledge I need. देवहूतिरुवाच सर्वं तद्भगवान् मह्यम् उपोवाह प्रतिश्रुतम् अथापि मे प्रपन्नायाः अभयं दातुमर्हसि
देवहूतिरुवाच सर्वं तद्भगवान् मह्यम् उपोवाह प्रतिश्रुतम् अथापि मे प्रपन्नायाः अभयं दातुमर्हसि
श्रीविद्या म्यूट् इरुक्कै
Sorry. देवहूतिरुवाच सर्वं तद्भगवान् मह्यम् उपोवाह प्रतिश्रुतम् अथापि मे प्रपन्नायाः अभयं दातुमर्हसि
ब्रह्मन् दुहितृभिस्तुभ्यं विमृग्याः पतयः समाः कश्चित् स्यान्मे विशोकाय त्वयि प्रव्रजिते वनम् ब्रह्मन् दुहितृभिस्तुभ्यं विमृग्याः पतयः समाः कश्चित् स्यान्मे विशोकाय त्वयि प्रव्रजिते वनम्
ब्रह्मन् दुहितृभिस्तुभ्यं विमृग्यापदयः समाः कश्चित् स्यान्मे विशोकाय त्वयि प्रव्रजिते वनम्
ब्रह्मन् दुहितृभिस्तुभ्यं विमृग्याः पतयः समाः कश्चित् स्यान्मे विशोकाय त्वयि प्रव्रजिते वनम्
एतावतालं कालेन व्यतिक्रान्तेन मे प्रभो इन्द्रियार्थप्रसङ्गेन परित्यक्त परात्मनः एतावतालं कालेन व्यतिक्रान्तेन मे प्रभो इन्द्रियार्थप्रसङ्गेन परित्यक्त परात्मनः
एतावतालं कालेन व्यतिक्रान्तेन मे प्रभो इन्द्रियार्थप्रसङ्गेन परित्यक्तः परात्मनः
एतावतालं कालेन व्यतिक्रान्तेन मे प्रभो इन्द्रियार्थप्रसङ्गेन परित्यक्तपरात्मनः
It is indriyartha means indriyangal, so all the sensory objects. Prasangena, I've been attached to all the sensory objects all these years, never devoted myself to worshipping Bhagavan and getting liberated eventually. Indriyarteshu sajjantya, prasangas tvai me kritaha, ajanantya param bhavam, tatapyastva bhayayame. That's one word. Tatapyastva bhayayame. Cannot split it. Indriyarteshu sajjantya prasangastvai me kritaha ajanantya param bhavam tatapyastva bhayayame.
इन्द्रियार्थेषु सज्जन्त्या प्रसङ्गस्त्वयि मे कृतः अजानन्द्या परं भावं तदाभ्यस्त्वभयाय मे
इन्द्रियार्थेषु सज्जन्त्या प्रसङ्गस्त्वयि मे कृतः अजानन्त्या परं भावं तथाप्यस्त्वभयाय मे
Sango yes samsriter hetuhu. So the ra that is there, we're going to break it, visarga comma. Next word will start with the a. Asatsu vihitodhiya sa eva sadushu krito, nissangatvaya kalpate. Sangho yes samsriter hetuhu asatsu vihitodhiya sa eva sadushu krito nissangatvaya kalpate.
सङ्गो यः संसृतेर्हेतुः असत्सु विहितो धिया स एव साधुषु कृतो निस्सङ्गत्वाय कल्पते
सङ्गो यः संसृतेर्हेतुः असत्सु विहितो धिया स एव साधुषु कृतो निस्सङ्गत्वाय कल्पते.
So this one, like this reminds me, like in Aranyam, that slogam is there, Bhakter Utpatti Vriddhi Tavacharana Yusham Sangame Naiva Pumsam. It's just like how if you want well, it is Shriya Eva Jagati Srimatam Sangamena. If you want wealth, you have to associate yourself with wealthy people. So it says, but Bhakti Utpatti Vriddhi, for me to develop my devotion, you need to give me Sangam of devoted people, right? which is exactly the same thing Devahuti is saying here, that when somebody is attached, surrounded by people who are materialistic, you'll naturally be bound by all of those material things. But when you're attached with, surrounded by people who are spiritually inclined, you will naturally be inclined that way as well. But he says, I've been with you, but I never realized that. I did not utilize that benefit here, which is exactly the same stanza here. Neha yat karma dharmaya, na viragaya kalpate, na tirtha pada sevayai, jivannapi mritohi saha. Neha yat karma dharmaya, na viragaya kalpate, na tirtha pada sevayai, jivannapi mritohi saha.
नेह यत्कर्म धर्माय न विरागाय कल्पते न तीर्थपदसेवायै जीवन्नभिमृदो हि सः
नेह यत्कर्म धर्माय न विरागाय कल्पते न तीर्थपदसेवायै जीवन्नपि मृतो हि सः.
Since we have a couple minutes. So this is again just saying that, like by doing things which are spiritual in nature, automatically you will get more closer and closer. You will eventually get to renunciation, which will eventually get you to liberation and all of that. If you're not doing it, it says, Jivan napi mrito hi sai. Even though you are alive, you are as good as dead because you are not putting your life to proper use. You're getting distracted. But again, like Kardama did, like Swayambhu Manu does, you don't have to completely quit everything. You can still lead a regular life, but still be spiritually inclined and, do it that way. Saham bhagavato nunam, vanchita mayaya dhridam, yatvam vimuktidam prapya, na mumuksheya bandhanat. Saham bhagavato nunam vanchita mayaya dridham yatvam vimuktidam prapya na mumuksheya bandhanat.
ताहं भगवतो नूनं वञ्चिता मायया दृढं यत्त्वां विमुक्तिदं प्राप्य न मुमुक्षेय बन्धनात्.
साहं भगवतो नूनं वञ्चिता मायया दृढं यत्त्वां विमुक्तिदं प्राप्य न मुमुक्षेय बन्धनात्.
इति श्रीमद्भागवते महापुराणे पारमहंस्यां संहितायां तृतीयस्कन्धे कापिलेयोपाख्याने त्रयोविंशोऽध्यायः.
इति श्रीमद्भागवते महापुराणे पारमहंस्यां संहितायां तृतीयस्कन्धे कापिलेयोपाख्याने त्रयोविंशोऽध्यायः.
इति श्रीमद्भागवते महापुराणे पारमहंस्यां संहितायां तृतीयस्कन्धे कापिलेयोपाख्याने त्रयोविंशोऽध्यायः.
श्रीहरे नमः, श्रीहरे नमः, श्रीहरे नमः. गोपिका जीवनस्मरणं गोविन्दा गोविन्द. सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय. कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि. Thank you everyone. Next week we'll
Thanks,
see
Rajesh.
Bharata.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone.
Have fun in
Thank you, Rajesh.
Fun alla illa, work dhaan. So
Safe flight back.
Yeah.
Friday only.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bye.
Okay. Bye.
Thank
everyone.
you.
Bye.
Bye, Rajesh.